How's it going, guys? Alex here. Welcome back to another SSR Analysis video, and in today's video we are going to be taking a look at the Agility Super 17, and he is kind of underwhelming in some aspects, but of course shout out to the Dokkan subreddit for providing the translations. But let's jump straight into it with the leader skill. He gives 3 key to extreme agility types as well as the 120% stat boost, and then of course he gives the 1 key to super types and 50% stat boost. His passive reduces incoming damage by 40%, and he also gets a 30% attack boost for each time he's attacked. Biggest boost that he can get is a 120% boost. It can't go beyond that, which means that he needs to be hit a total of 4 times for him to get that 120% stat boost. Otherwise it's just going to be at 0 and he isn't going to be hitting that hard at all. And of course I will be showing the super attack in a few moments, but he causes immense damage and greatly lowers defense, which to be honest isn't the greatest thing. He would have been much better if he at least greatly lowered attack. It's way more beneficial, it provides more to the team that he is currently on, and to be honest greatly lowering defense is only good for one event, and of course that's Broly. And outside of that it doesn't make much of a difference. But if we go ahead and have a look at his links, he has Android Assault, Fear and Faith, Fusion, Nightmare, GT, Shocking Speed and Fierce Battle. To be honest his link set is actually pretty good. The only thing that he is missing is big bad bosses, which honestly would have made a massive difference, but he still has good key links like Fear and Faith, Fusion, Nightmare, GT, Shocking Speed and Fierce Battle. The only link that isn't necessarily good in his link set is Android Assault, but he definitely does have a very solid link set. Okay, so let's talk a bit more about his passive. So he reduces damage by 40%, which isn't the biggest reduction, but keep in mind that when you raise his defense to a certain point, his damage reduction will be more visible. He is kinda in the same situation as Vegito Blue, and what I mean by that is that Vegito Blue is capable of tanking normal hits now, thanks to how high his defense can get thanks to the ability system. And of course when you count his damage reduction abilities with his passive, it makes him tank as well as Super Vegito, and that will obviously get better when the physical Super League comes out. So what I'm trying to say is that Super 17 definitely does have some tanking capabilities, but keep in mind that you are most likely going to be running units like the LR Androids, who are capable of lowering attack, which means that Super 17 will be able to tank pretty well the majority of the time. But to be honest, he is pretty underwhelming, and so is his team to an extent. At the moment the main units on your team are most likely going to be 17 of course, Rose, and the LR Androids, but they do seem to be giving more rebirths and of course releasing more extreme agility type units to support this group in particular, which means that they are obviously trying to improve this group as much as possible. It's not that it's bad, but in comparison to the other teams it is somewhat underwhelming. And the thing is, Super 17 himself doesn't even provide that much to the team. Super Saiyan Rose is most likely going to be hitting harder than 17, and keep in mind that his passive is also very consistent unlike 17's, so it will most likely just be Rose doing the majority of the damage. And of course there will be a few occasions where he is capable of tanking 4 hits, and then of course he gets the 120 attack boost. But the problem with this is that it's not as consistent. At least Tech Super Saiyan 3 Goku had an attack boost from the start. He doesn't have to rely on Rainbow Orbs to hit hard, but like Zen said on Twitter, he definitely has a very creative passive skill, but they definitely butcher the execution. He could have been very similar to Goku in the sense that he already had a percentage boost to his attack, but it was capable of increasing with every time that he was hit. But who knows, this could potentially be an April Fool's joke, because this is going to be released on the 1st of April, so they could definitely make a few changes to his passive, or maybe even his type. But at the moment it seems like he is definitely going to be the Agility Extreme lead. But rejoice Vegeta fans, he is now the worst God lead, obviously counting the newest ones, not the old ones. At the moment he isn't the greatest tank, and the hardest that he can hit is as hard as Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, and even then he most likely won't be hitting as hard as Vegeta, because he will most likely have a 12 key multiplier of 140%, which is 10% lower than Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. Okay, so to quickly talk about the team, you can tell that their options aren't exactly the greatest. So your core 3, so to speak, are most likely going to be your boy Android 17, LR Androids, and of course Super Saiyan Rose. It doesn't seem like Android 18 is going to be getting a rebirth anytime soon. I believe that N-Type is, so she's going to be pretty good for providing key to the LR androids. And then you have several other options here. So you have Golden Frieza, who of course can tank. You have Turles, who has big bad bosses. You can go great AP, has prepared for battle, so he fits relatively well on this team. Of course, he does have other good links. You have the World Tournament Final Form Cooler, who's extremely underrated. I think he gives a 30% attack and defensive boost. So yeah, he does give the 30% attack and defensive boost. I just had to quickly refresh the page there. And this Bojack could potentially be good. At the moment, he definitely isn't the greatest, but he is going to be getting a rebirth, seemingly when he is going to be released. And at the moment, I believe it's only a 40% attack boost, and he doesn't have the greatest links. However, if they go ahead and give him Fear and Faith, he will fit pretty well on this team, because a lot of the units here do have Fear and Faith. And of course, he also has big bad bosses, so if he gets like a 90% unconditional attack, I believe that D3 brought this up. He could be pretty good. And who else did I not talk about? So of course we have Turles, we have Final Form Cooler, who I would imagine not a lot of people have. You have 18, so at the moment your team is going to be looking something like this. And you can maybe even throw Kid Buu in there if you're really desperate. I mean, he isn't the greatest option for this team. Of course, you have Super Baby 1 as well, so at the moment the team isn't the greatest. Like I said before, it will most likely just be the Rose, Super 17 and LR androids. Sure, if you bother to farm the LR androids, and I will most likely be doing that in the future. And then of course you have the other units around them, which are just basically there to fill up the slots. But don't get me wrong, some of them do have a lot of potential, and I would personally prefer to run support units over other units that can hit hard. For example, let's get rid of these guys. Why aren't they going? How do I remove them? Oh, okay, click on there. So get rid of him, get rid of him, get rid of these guys. So this would, wait, okay, yeah, Cooler's here. So let's go with something like this, and then I would add another support unit in there, like our boy Falza, I don't know how to pronounce it. Sorry if I butchered the name completely. So I'd rather give a boost to these other guys than just bring another hard-hitting unit. And let's say you don't have the World Tournament Cooler, who else could you run? Well, to be honest, there aren't many other options. So yeah, if you don't have this guy, it's a shame, because he's a really, really good unit, and hopefully in the future, he will be obtainable from the World Tournament summons. But at the moment, this is an example of what your team would look like. I would personally go for a harder hitting unit than just another unit that can hit hard. But to be honest, like I said before, and I will say it again, these guys are going to be your hardest hitters. But that is pretty much it, guys. He is currently the worst lead that has been released in this meta, so to speak. So who knows, maybe in the future they will be releasing more extreme agility cards that will make this even better. So I hope you guys did enjoy the video, and if you did, do not forget to leave a like and subscribe for more content. And yeah, I will see you all in the next one.